Personalized medicine. What does that mean? Well, let's think about what the opposite is, which is more of what's practiced today. Let's compare medicine and drugs to shirts, and think back to my most recent trip to the doctor's office.
Patients in the waiting room.
Hey Ben, you should come in.
Hello, doctor. I'm sick.
What's your disease?
I have no shirt.
Alright, well, this is what we have. It fits the most people.
Okay, I hope this works. Thank you. Yes.
Kate, your turn. Finally. What's your disease, Kate? Oh, I need a shirtitis. Oh man, well, this is the shirt we have. I gave it to Ben too, but it fits most people, so here you go. Oh, thanks. Wow, okay.
That looks a
Brendan?
little big, Kate.
Yeah, let's try it on here. What's your disease, Brendan?
I also have no
This does not
shirt.
work for me. Alright, well, again, this is what we have, so you're gonna have to work with this.
Sweet.
Kate, your shirt is too big for you.
I know, I can't wear this. It's not working for me.
Okay. So what does that video that we just saw have to do with anything that we were talking about? Again, the definition of personalized medicine. Well, what you just saw was not personalized medicine. That approach was that one shirt fit all the people, all the potential customers, or in that case, all the potential patients. You can think of that if you switch the shirt to being a drug. The doctor gives one drug to 3 different patients, or in real life situation, many more. The drug may work on some, but not on everyone, just like the shirt fit only a couple and kind of fit the other people.
What would be personalized medicine? Well, let's think about why those shirts didn't fit. It was related to body size. Some people are different sizes than others. So, what can we use to determine what drugs to give to people? Well, instead of body size, we can use their DNA. Everyone's DNA is a little bit different, even though we are mostly the same. Those small differences actually can make a big difference in when we're thinking about how we react to drugs. Some people may metabolize drugs differently, some people may have different genes expressed, that means that they won't even react to a certain drug. There's so many different variations, and so what it all means is that what might work for the most people on average might not actually work for you.
Then the natural question arises, so what? Why do we need personalized medicine, and what's the matter with the way we do things right now? It works just fine, right? Well, actually, it works okay. About 100,000 people every year, 100,000 people every year die from kind of this idea that the drugs don't work exactly for them. So that's kind of a lot of lives. And then, so kind of what are the specific examples of this? What kind of diseases does this affect? This idea that we don't customize our medicine. And so there are kind of a couple that I want to talk about. The first one is colon cancer. And there's this drug called Camptosar. It starts with a C-A-M-P-T-O-S-A-R. And so what's so big about this drug? It's used to treat colon and rectal cancer. The problem with it is that it doesn't work for everyone. And the question is why? Well, let's look at DNA like we've seen in class so many times before. Pretend this is our DNA strand here. Now for Camptosar to work, you need this enzyme, which, as we know, comes from a certain little segment in your DNA. This codes for the enzyme. You get your enzyme and it helps break down Camptosar. Now some people who don't have this enzyme, it's called the UGT1A1 enzyme. I can write that down for you. UGT1A1 enzyme. If you don't have it, this drug, which actually can help you from your cancer, kills cancer cells, can actually become toxic and life-threatening. It'll go into your bone marrow, and it'll inhibit your bone marrow, and you could possibly die. So the effects of this are really real. The idea that a drug that can help somebody be toxic for somebody else is kind of amazing. And then this isn't the only one either. There's not just colon cancer. We'll look at a couple other examples here. So maybe something not as morbid. We'll look at asthma and allergies. Pretty much just asthma. So asthma. So there's this drug that's called albuterol. And again, the same thing happens. Albuterol works for some people and doesn't work for others. And going back to earlier, we looked at that DNA, that crude DNA sequence that I drew. It's because there are differences in here between different people. So knowing how these DNA sequences are different will help us determine whether this will be able to be treated by this, albuterol. And then we'll go through a last one. We'll go with anticoagulation. So we're going to look at a drug called warfarin, which is used as a blood thinner. And again, the same thing happens, except this time it's related to dose. The problem is doctors don't know how much to give to each patient. So how it typically works now is what you do is you have a patient come in, you start them off at a low dose, you see how their blood, how thick the blood is, basically you take some blood tests, and then after that you have them come in later and later again. It's a tedious process over a couple of weeks, and it'd be really nice if from the beginning you could just be like, hey, we need 100 milligrams of this for this guy because he's like 10 foot tall, okay? 5 foot tall, whatever. And for this guy, he's a little smaller or something like that, but he has this certain DNA sequence over here, he's actually going to need 120. A little bit different than we thought. Something like that. So, not just based on size of your body, but actually what's in your DNA and what the DNA sequence is. That way you don't have to come back over and over again, but you can just in one shot say this guy needs this, and get it exactly for all the therapeutic effects.
So these are just a few examples of the many drugs that are already being used for more personalized medicine. But how much farther do we have to go, and how long will it be until everything is more personalized? Well, it turns out that right now it's a little difficult to get everything completely personalized. Right now, sequencing your DNA is a very difficult process, and there's lots of companies working to make it into a much cheaper, quicker, faster process, and they're getting pretty close. But we still have a little ways to go. We also have to go a little ways before we can figure out exactly what do all these sequences mean. Which ones are important? I mean, there's so many genes and so many portions of the DNA that we don't even realize yet what could be important in these development of these new drugs. So we still have a little bit of ways to go. But even so, this is still a really exciting area.
Warfarin has to do with dosing. In what way? So the problem is what's that? Looking at something else, blood clotting and these thinning agents. There's a thinning agent called warfarin. It's spelled W-A-R-F-I-R-I-N. That's right.
Is that right? I mean, think about next time in, say, 200 years, you go to your doctor, and it's...
That was great.
Alright guys, think we got some good stuff.
How's your shirt, Brennan?
It's a little big.
Okay. Mine is too, actually.
Crappy doctor.
It's doing great. Doing great. Why did you say that?
Oh, thanks to Katie, by the way. Lots of kudos to her.
Thanks, Katie.
Thanks,
We made you miss
Katie.
your play. Thank you.
That's good.
Crappy doctor.
Stop. Riley.
This is really stinky.
You gave him bad shirts.
Ugh, gross.
Okay, thanks, Riley.
I will see our awesome video. We're going to get lots of extra credit.
I know.
Is this a big deal? So what? Why is the way we're doing things not alright?